everyone. I want to talk about John 21, 3 through 6. It's when Peter and the disciples go fishing, and the whole night they're unable to catch anything until Jesus instructs them to cast their net to the right. But before I do, I want to first talk about Peter's decision to even go fishing. The Bible doesn't tell us why, but I can just speculate. Just something to think about. We know the stories about Peter from all the Gospels, and I cannot help but think that he is just like one of us. Thank goodness Christ does not just use the Nathaniels who are without guile, but he uses people like Peter. We know what happened before this, right? He denied Jesus, someone he pledged to die for, if necessary. However, not once, not twice, but 3 times that he even knew him. And when confronted by people he didn't even know, he cursed. Think about how Peter must have felt. Then he goes on to see the resurrected Christ face to face. Again, think about what might have been going through Peter's mind. The decision to go back to fishing. He went back to work, something he thought he knew how to do. Look at his history of failure and what was in front of him. He probably went back to security. In the story of this last miracle of Christ, Peter tries to do what he thinks he can do, and with no success until Jesus comes on the scene, with his words directing him. And as we know, there were more fish than they can draw in. The point here for us, saints, is that when we are called by God, despite how ill-prepared, unschooled we are, he will still use us if we follow his words. Jesus chose Peter, despite Peter. Christ chooses us despite us. I don't think Peter could ever go back to fishing. That just wasn't God's plan for him. The only way Peter was going to be successful is if he listened to his word. And boy, was he successful, right? As we read in Acts and 1st and 2nd Peter. Why? Because of the Holy Spirit. We cannot do the good work of God unless he calls us. We wait on the Holy Spirit, which we knew Peter went on to do. So when God calls you, listen to the word of Christ, be filled with the Holy Spirit, and allow him to lead you, and you will not go wrong in fulfilling what God has called you to do, no matter what it is. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks.